Good morning, Twisties. Hey, it's Tuesday morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be outside again, isn't it? It's kind of a little overcast today, but that's okay. It's a beautiful day. I'm out here in my t-shirt. I'll take it. I love this life, man. If we could just be outside and work from outside all of the time, it would be awesome. I don't want to go back inside to my computer. One of these days, I'm gonna figure out how to get my computer out here and still be like up on the internet and be able to do my work from out here. That would be the best. Anyhow, hey, I got to talk with Blythe this week. You may know her as TwistedSoprano on Ravelry. She's a big part of the Twisted family and has been since before I joined the Twisted team. She's been a moderator on our Ravelry groups. She has run knit-alongs and she has run swaps. She has worked with us at some of the different yarn and fiber shows we go to. You know, she's just a wealth of knowledge, a very fun person to talk to and hang out with, and an excellent resource for all things Twisted. She and I talked for so long that even when I edited the video down, it still turned out to be 2 complete videos. So stay tuned. Here comes part 1 of my interview with TwistedSoprano. Good morning, Twisties. Welcome. I'm here today with my friend Blythe. You may know her as TwistedSoprano on Ravelry. She has been a big part of our Twisted family since I started working with Twisted. I got to know her pretty well through Ravelry, and we would talk over FaceTime or the phone occasionally when we first started working together. And eventually in person, she has attended a number of shows with us and been to Michigan a few times to visit and come to the studio and come see us. I mean, yeah, she has family in town, whatever, but she also
knows I'm just coming for Twisted, so.
Also, she comes for Twisted, so yeah. It's pretty great. Welcome, Blythe. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are in New Jersey.
I am.
We just spoke with Elizabeth. She was in New York. You guys are close-ish.
Yeah.
But not close enough, really, that you have any sort of in-person relationship other than when we see each other at shows.
Yeah, pretty much.
And on Ravelry, of course.
Yeah. I thought actually I might start by talking about how I first got into Twisted, because it's kind of a fun story.
That's always everybody's favorite story to hear. How did you find out about us? What drew you to us? Those kinds of things.
Well, I started off as a crocheter, and my mom taught me when I was pretty little, probably like 3 or 4 or something, how to chain and kind of the basics of crochet. And I didn't start knitting until about 9 years ago. When my husband and I first got married, we lived in France for a year. He's French, but was doing a program at a school there. And I crocheted Christmas presents for everyone. And it got to January and I was like, I can't, I have to do something else. So it was a couple of things. Number one is that I had gotten more and more expensive taste in yarn. And crochet goes really fast. Oh, as one does, of course. But crochet goes really fast and also takes up a little bit more yarn than knitting. And frankly, it was just getting too expensive. Yeah. Okay. So I started knitting. I joined Ravelry. And I was looking around for patterns, and I found one that is called Wandering in the Garden, which uses a single or a small muse evolution. Mm-hmm. And I was hooked because I had been wanting yarn that did this beautiful gradual color change forever. And it's pretty much been downhill since then. So my first several orders from Twisted were actually delivered to where we lived in Paris. Mm-hmm. And
this was before you and I met.
Yes, it was.
By this was, year or so. Even.
Yeah, this would have been at the beginning of 2012.
Right.
Yeah, so what I specifically remember is that the sales for that year's fall club opened up literally the day we were moving. And I sent a message to Meg and I was like, you've got to help me because I have got to get into this club, but I'm going to be like on a plane that day, you know, like I can't be dealing with sign up times. So, so she kind of helped me get into the club, which I was really excited about. So, but it was great. And I have tons of stuff now. I knit almost exclusively with twisted yarn. Because I think once you've started and gotten hooked on the colors working like that, you can't go back.
Yeah.
So I love them. I've done a fair amount of model knitting for shows, etc.
Quite a good amount. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've
seen when they come to see us in person at a yarn show.
Yeah.
Is your work. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a few things that I've done. A couple things that actually survived the fire.
Not very many things did.
No.
Yeah, a few of yours are still kicking around.
Yeah. So I love that stuff. Aside from knitting, I am a singer. I teach piano lessons. I cantor at a Catholic church. I'm a performing singer. Yeah. And actually for fun during this quarantine period, I've been singing rounds with myself. So
fun. Oh my gosh.
Super fun. Yeah.
Can you show the screen?
Yeah.
So she found this. Is it an app?
Yeah, it's an app called Acapella.
Okay.
And you can just sort of, let me show you.
All the different parts.
Yeah. So this is me singing a round that has 5 entrances. So it's all the same, like notes and words. It's just me coming in at different times.
I love it. I love it.
I sent it to you, and if we can figure out how to do it, you'll include it in there.
I'll include that. I'll include one of your performances.
Yes.
At the end of the video. So don't click off after we say goodbye. Yeah. I'll attach it to the end so everybody can kind of see what that's like. It's so cool. I love that idea. That's
even really fun.
Oh, that's something fun to play with. I would love that. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's really been a lot of fun.
So what have you been doing lately? I mean, I know, what are you doing to stay safe and healthy? Are you guys quarantined? Are you in the stay home, stay safe? Is that in effect?
Yeah, so New York has gotten hit the hardest, but New Jersey is right after that.
Okay.
Probably because we're so close to New York and because a lot of people who work in the city live in New Jersey. So I haven't, other than going to the grocery store, and we've been legally required to wear a mask when you go into a grocery store for quite some time. But other than that, I haven't left my house. So I've been teaching my piano lessons online. This is actually where I teach. This is my piano right here.
I love that idea that you're able to continue to do what you love and to make sure your students are taken care of.
It's been great. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's been very, very helpful.
So what else have you been doing to keep yourself busy?
Well, I found this company that makes these little kits where you can sew your own little felt critters. And this is the first one I did. It's a little fox. So they send you pre-cut shapes and instructions and a pre-threaded needle, which is good because I'm really bad at threading needles.
You have no excuse with that kit, do you?
Yeah, it's pretty, they're pretty good. They take about like an hour each.
Yeah.
So I've made like 5 of these. I've made this, my favorite one is the owl. I'll show you the owl.
Oh my gosh.
How cute, right?
Cute.
And then I got a kit online that has some electronics that was basically just like putting in components and soldering them together. Isn't that cute?
I love it.
Cute. And then I got back into origami, which I haven't done since I was a kid. So I've made some little cranes.
That's cute.
I got a pattern for this little heart, which you can actually make with a dollar bill. And all of this I just found online.
Circle in the center?
Kind of. It's
so cute.
Yeah, it's a really, really cute pattern. And then I decided, and I made a flower. I'll show you my flower because I really like this one.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't it pretty? Yeah. All rainbow paper, because as you can tell, I have a problem with gradients. And this is my little frog. And he actually hops.
Does he hop? Yeah.
Yeah, you can kind of press that and he sort of hops forward. So this is all 6 by 6 inch paper. But nerd that I am, I decided to cut that paper into quarters so that I had 3 by 3 inch paper. And so with that size,
that tiny.
well, so here is the 6 by 6 inch crane. This is a 3 by 3 inch crane, right? So here's what I have. I know, it's crazy. It's like out of control. So this is a 1.5 by 1.5 inch.
I can barely see
crane.
It. Yeah.
Right? And it's funny because I've never been one for amigurumi. Those just, because anything that involves sewing, other than my little felt things, like I cannot, every time I try to sew something together, it ends up being a disaster. So I am like a top-down sweater girl.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyhow, yeah, so I've done all this crazy origami, and, you know, I've been binge watching TV shows.
Well, I wanted to share a few things too.
Please.
These are not things that I made.
Okay.
These are things that you made for me.
Oh, yes.
We do a swap around Christmas time sometimes. And this.
By the way, I should confess, I am the one who assigns swap partners.
Oh, yeah.
So I might have on purpose made sure that I got to make things for Beth. So
I love Angst. Angst is one of my all-time favorite colorways, and it's retired, and we can't we can't dye it. Everything's broken about it. It just is not cooperative. Yeah. So when she said she had Angst, I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Guys, look at this ZuZu's Petals. It's hard to see. I'm going to try and do this.
Yeah, I got that in the D-stash. I think I got all of it in the D-stash, actually.
Catnip small, just one does it. But look at how perfectly it fits my neck.
Yeah.
You have really good gauge. So this set, there's a hat too, guys. Wait.
That's the Ashwyn Beret, and that is the greatest hat in the world. It
really
looks
is.
attractive no matter how you wear it.
It is. I pull it down like this because it's Michigan, you know.
Yeah.
So I cover it up. It's 70 degrees here today. I'm sitting here going, but
oh no, please take that stuff off. I don't want you to melt.
I'll put links to all of these patterns below. Except this one doesn't. Does this one have a pattern, or did you just kind of?
I sort of fudged it. It does have a pattern, but it's supposed to be that the treble clef is on the right hand and the bass clef is on the left hand. But
you just made the one. Then she sent me yarn to make one for my small hand. I haven't done it yet, but it will get done eventually. But I love this set. It's like my go-to. I grab it and then I throw my coat on and I walk out the door. And it's one of my favorite gifts that I've ever gotten ever.
Oh, yay.
I love it so much. So thank you. I don't know if if I showed you a picture of me wearing it. But
I don't think you did, but I'm glad you enjoy it because I had a lot of fun doing that swap. I definitely went overboard by a lot.
That was a really fun swap. That was really fun. It was the first time I'd ever participated in it, and I had a great time.
Yay.
So if you want to see what that's all about, I will put also a link to that swap.
Someone else is doing a summer swap this year, right?
Right, there's a summer solstice swap going on right now.
Oh, wonderful.
And Miss Twilight is running that.
Oh, very good, yeah.
Yeah, and but this one it was at Christmas time, and it's like the 12 days of Christmas, and
yeah, that was fun because it was supposed to be. This is the problem. It was supposed to be 12 little presents, but because I had Beth. You can't blame me, right? Like I definitely went way overboard. So I think Miss Twilight is keeping things a little bit more reasonable, and I'm not in it this year, which is probably a good thing. But you know, I'm the one who started off the swap, and I did it because I did not want to hand knit socks, but I wanted hand knit socks.
Yeah.
And my first partner was Amy Ackerman, who is Cackleberry Knits.
Yes.
And I specifically chose her because she has a circular sock machine. Oh, and I totally had nefarious intentions because now I have a deal with her where I send her yarn and she cranks my socks, and I have not worn store-bought socks in 7 years. Like all of my socks are hand cranked by Amy, and they are beautiful. They're all amazing. Let's see.
What are you wearing? Okay, there we go.
This one is actually like a Franken sock with nymph and dusk.
Dusk and nymph, is it?
Yeah. And then I never match. This one is Pemberly and Nomad.
Ooh, Pemberly. Yes. That's one of my favorite old ones. I haven't seen that one.
That was a great one. It's Pemberly is a relative of Netherfield.
Netherfield, yeah.
Yeah, and Netherfield is sort of the mutating variegated version. Mutating variegates are a lot more work and more trouble to dye. And I think that what happened, I think I remembered the total genesis of this. Okay, so Danny,
Hold on.
I can't remember.
But she knows more about these colorways than I do. And the older ones, she really does. If I have
a little frightening
historical questions, I'm like, Blythe?
So Danny, whose last name is escaping me right now, but she's from Denver, wanted to make a great big blanket, and I think it was a Stephen West pattern that had like spokes coming out, and she wanted to do it in Netherfield, and it would have been like 8 smalls, like all in one. It would have been huge. And Meg was like, no, I'm not doing that much mutating variegate, like, unless you're going to send me a lot of alcohol. Right. So she invented Pemberly instead. And so that's how we ended up with Pemberly.
Know that.
But then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think the red in Pemberly started being uncooperative. So unfortunately, it's not available anymore.
It started breaking. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Danniknitter.
I think you might be right about that one. Yeah.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Danny. I hurt you. She's awesome. I adore her. I think, so I started looking at historical colorways pretty early on and fell deeply, like passionately in love with Waterlily.
Oh, don't even say that word out loud. All right.
No, but I can tell you the whole story of that too.
But hold on. Let me tell people, you guys, it is one of the most asked for colorways, one of our all-time favorite colorways ever. It's broke, y'all.
Yeah. I think it's the blue just stopped working, and the blue was what made the colorway.
It turns into mud. We cannot replicate it. We've tried so many times. Yeah. It's not doable. Okay, continue. Just one.
Yes. No. This is a good one. You have to. So Waterlily was part of a club years ago. It was probably like maybe the 3rd club that Meg ever did. It was really early. And so I was poking around online. I saw that it wasn't available. I did get some in some D-stash, and I've made a couple things with that. And then I saw that someone, and I cannot remember this knitter's, she's like she's from Chicago.
Okay.
And she wanted Waterlily for her wedding. And so she put a special order, and she made shawls for all of her bridesmaids, socks for the groom, pocket squares for all of the groomsmen, and a reception dress for herself in
gorgeous.
Blues.
I'll put a link below so you can.
It's incredible. I have like archived. I think I have all of the pictures of those like saved on my phone because I'm obsessed with them. So I'll also bear in mind, I lived in Paris for a year. I have been to the Musée de l'Orangerie, where all of the Waterlilies are. I have been to Giverny like 3 times. So I've actually seen the gardens where Monet lived and where he painted these. Because the colorway is based on the Monet Nymphéa, which is French for waterlilies, which are, his big waterlily, like
giant painting. Yeah.
They're gorgeous. I actually have a picture somewhere of me. Yeah.
Of me. You bought the shawl all hang out.
Yeah. So I had gotten a D-stash of a large catnip, and I used it to make, I can't remember the name of the pattern, but like a really beautiful shawl. And you're not allowed to take pictures there, by the way. So I had to be like super sneaky, but it's a picture of me in the shawl standing right next to the painting, and they're like identical. It's so gorgeous.
There are going to be so many links on this episode, but
it's going to be bad. So then there was a summer where I came by, and I actually worked at the shop for like a week, and I did a little bit of dyeing.
It was really fun to have you there.
It was super fun. And Meg was not there to stop me, so I went through all of her old color recipes.
Yeah.
And I showed the one to Waterlily to Amy, and I said, can you do this? And she was like, I think I can. And so she dyed me some Waterlily, and I think within 6 months, it was available as a colorway. And I have to say, like, if there is anything that I have done to, like, put forth good in the world, this was it. Because I got Waterlily re-released. It didn't last forever. because the dye gods were not on our side.
So we have tried. We've tried.
Yes. Oh, I mean, I think what did she reformulate it like 6 times or something?
At least. Yeah.
There was much wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after the fire, when we moved studios, the water pH was so different. It reacted differently with the dyes, and it was just mud again.
Can I just like get distilled water sent to
We
you?
We do everything we can, but we cannot buy water for as much as we use. We have to use, when we mix the dye itself, we use reverse osmosis water that we get from the same source every single time. But when it is applied
and rinsed
the yarn has to be soaked, and there are so many steps that include water.
I will send you a like truckload of water just so that you can dye Waterlily for me. No, it's worth it, but it's just causes too much trouble. And you don't want
chemistry.
You don't want yarn that has caused the dyers to like lose their minds.
No.
You want every part of this should it should be love, it should be peace, it should be happiness, it should not be misery. So I'm so sorry. Megan's gonna be so mad at me for bringing up Waterlily.
That's okay, guys. Go on. I will put a link below so you can see Waterlily in all its glory. You can take a look at it. Hey, just a warning to any of you who hold some in your stash. There might be some messages in your RAV mail after this to see if you might want to destash it. Yeah. But it won't be coming from us. We just can't do it, unfortunately. We wish we could.
But this is my, like, if I ever find a magic lamp.
Yeah.
With the genie, like, this is my wish.
Wasn't that great? I know I ended it kind of abruptly there, but you know, the next half of the video of the part 2 is so long and chock full. I thought if I had gone any longer, the list of links that you would have had to look through would be like, it would take up 3 pages. So I just thought that was a good spot to kind of cut things. I'll be back again next week with her. Back to the video with Blythe. I have attached her acapella singing that she did using this app that will be, the link will be down below. So if you want to try it out, you can do it too. I've attached it at the end so you can take a look at her beautiful voice, and a great idea to do this acapella singing. And I also have put a link below to her YouTube channel. So if you want to see more, go check out our very own Twisted Soprano and her beautiful voice. So I hope you hold out for just a couple minutes more and watch her sing. See you guys. Love ya.